Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host GhostSaad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for AEW Dynamite post-show review. What a loaded card we have for tonight. MJF and Hangman Adam Page will go face to face, and Swerve Strickland versus Kenny Omega will be the main event tonight. So let's get dive into it and talk about that. So we started off with John Moxley versus Mark Davis in a Continental title eliminator match, fending off another Callis family threat. Commentary drove home how Moxley hasn't slayed one demon he's wanted to do the most in Konosuke Takeshita. Another strong showing for Davis, who continues his run for competitive matches against top talent. All roads for Moxley have to lead to Takeshita, so it's good that he is still the Continental Champion, and we will get the match most probably at Revolution. And for the match, we saw Davis gain control and ran through Moxley at the start of the match. Then Moxley ducked a lariat into a flash cutter. Moxley hit a series of lariats until Davis kicked away at one and hit a home run shot that looks fantastic. We saw Moxley just got a shoulder up when Davis hit the insane pile driver for a very close count. Davis slapped on the slipper. Moxley escaped, then followed it up with a curb stop into the double down. Both collided with clothesline attempts. Moxley crumbled but floated over a pile driver and snagged a bulldog choke for the win. So Moxley retained the title in a very good opening match on Dynamite. We saw Hangman Adam Page backstage after Grand Slam, and he said he knows why Andrade is called El Idolo. Next time MJF tries to kick him in the balls, Page will make sure he doesn't have a happy future. And at Revolution, Page is coming for the World Championship, and he will end MJF to take it. So hyping up their match for Revolution. FTR and Stokely make their entrance to address the Young Bucks. Dax Harvard barely was able to start talking before "shut the fuck up" chants rang down. Then we saw uh, Stokely said, "Truth be told, it pisses him off that last week on Dynamite the Bucks shook hands with the Rascals and Private Party, which is interesting. Uh, Suddenly, the Bucks appear from behind and take out Harvard and Wheeler with super kicks, leaving Stokely alone spinning around in his wheelchair. The crowd chants for another super kick, but they got their wish as well. Stokely gets clocked out of his wheelchair with the super kick party, and the Bucks officially challenged FTR for the tag titles at Revolution in their backyard. So it's gonna be a fantastic match at Revolution as well. Next up, we saw the women's tag champion Willow Nightingale defending his TBS title against Mina Shirakawa, Marina Shafir, and Megan Bayne. I thought this turned into a really fun and chaotic four-way match. Everyone had their chance to shine, and it never really felt like you were standard two people outside two in the ring kind of a match. I wouldn't be surprised if Bayne gets a future one-on-one shot at TBS title, as she looked the strongest coming out of this match. And for the match, we saw Willow flattened everyone in her path with Spinebuster as the straps came down for a 2 count on Shirakawa. We saw Bayne blocked a kick and powerbombed Shafir onto the timekeeper's table, which didn't break. Shirakawa flew off the top with a shotgun drop kick and back fist on Willow as she went for the finger four, but Willow caught her with a flash cradle for the pinfall win. So Willow retains in a very good match, and I think Bayne will get the future TBS title shot. Next up is the face-to-face between MJF and Hangman Adam Page. MJF wants to make something clear. He's not cutting some cute promo to sell tickets. He hates Page's gut. Then MJF hates the fact that Page holds 2 wins over him, and he's gonna correct that thing at Revolution. Maybe it's his two boyfriends Kenny and Swerve are fighting, or maybe Page is in his head that he had a chance to be at top of the mountain twice and both times crumbled under pressure. And MJF is looking in the eye, isn't the guy He fought at Revolution last year, so he thinks Page is out of his bullets. Page can't MJF can't think of a better birthday gift to himself to end Page and his cowboy shit. So then Page comes back and said between the two of them he is the lucky shot. Page talked about the fans carrying him back to the world title, and he also talked about returning with MGF returning with a new head of hair thicker than Mark Davis, sweating until everyone was on the floor, kicked Page in the balls and collected the spoils of Greater Man. MJF's desperation for love acceptance. Page is no better than that and he hates it. And at Revolution, Page wants to end this for good forever, and he thinks MJF knows that this can't just be a normal wrestling match. So he tells MJF to think of a stipulation. And also, Page said he wants a Texas death match. And on top of that, Page thought MJF would say that because he is scared, a coward. So if MJF agrees to the stipulation, Page will give him his word. He will never challenge for the world title as long as he lives. And that just MJF just smirked on that comment, and he was immediately accepting that match and saying as far as his stipulation goes, unlike these morons, he thinks through. MJF needs a week to determine the stipulation, but Page said he knows Texas death. Page stormed out of the ring and stopped on the aisle with the realization of what he just offered up hitting him. So we saw this kind of a stipulation before in AEW with Cody Rhodes. So that will corner you as a booker, and I don't think what is the best way to resolve this kind of a thing. But it's interesting that what MGF pick up as a stipulation for their match at Revolution, but I think it's gonna be a fantastic world title match, and I don't think MGF is losing that match. So we need to figure out how we're gonna protect Adam Page with this kind of a stipulation. So it's interesting to see what happens next. So Moxley is backstage with the Death Riders and talking about the Don Callis family. They aren't like them. So if you want to continue to test this, how about Collision? Gather a few of yourself and fight Collision as well. And for Takeshita, he challenged Takeshita for a no time limit match, one way or another. There must be a winner as long as it takes. So I think it's gonna be another fantastic match between these two guys. Next up is the conglomeration Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii versus the War Dogs, Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. Another hard-hitting match, another week where Darby Allin plays the throne in the side of the War Dogs. I can only hope that Big Tom isn't badly injured, though commentary talked about how he might have torn his hamstring. It's amazing that he cutted the finish of this match out, and we may see a match between Darby Allin and the War Dogs as well. So it's interesting to see what happens for Revolution. Next up, we saw the debut of the Brawling Birds, Windsor and Jamie Hayter. Both looks fantastic as a team, and Birds quickly gained control as they took out Viva Van on the apron, hit a Stero clothesline and a hard attack to win the match. So it's interesting to see when they will challenge for the women's tag title. And in the main event, we saw Swerve Strickland versus Kenny Omega, an unbelievable main event that somehow reached another level when things returned from the last commercial break. This was a pay-per-view caliber showdown, and while a lot happened down the stretch, Strickland not only put Omega on the shelf for a while, but he'll undoubtedly have to answer to Hangman eventually what he did after the match. This makes the world title picture even more compelling that is already stacked as well. Omega got a boot out of the corner but charged into a Strickland hip toss roll, which Omega countered it into a suplex for one of his own. For the reset of the match, Omega slid out and planted Strickland face first on the other post, Snapdragon and a running knee, ducked and Strickland for another near fall. Then Omega quietly the house call chants and hit multiple knee lifts until Strickland caught the third into a backbreaker drop combo, sending Omega to the apron. This is awesome chants broke out as at that we saw Strickland hit a 450 splash to the back of the Omega, but Omega kicked out. Omega charged for another V trigger. Strickland pulled Aubrey in and she took the blow. Omega was shocked initially as he tried to go for the one winged angel, but Strickland rolled through and hit a house call. Strickland had a visual pin, but there was no referee. Nana checked on Aubrey. Strickland went up top and hit a swerve stomp at Omega on the apron, with Omega's face taking a lot of that. Then Strickland called for another referee and Paul Turner ran out right as Strickland hit a swerve storm, but Omega kicked out and crowd went nuts for that. A shocked Strickland rose to his feet, wanted house call. Omega ducked into a Snapdragon V-trigger to the back. Omega wanted the one-winged angel. Strickland escaped but ran into another V-trigger. Omega wanted another, but Strickland hit a charging house call. Big Brush had spiked Omega for the victory and one hell of a main event. And Swerve Strickland beats Kenny Omega in the middle of the ring. Post-match, we saw Nana dance. Strickland slowly turned back to Omega and pounced on him right hands before launching Paul Turner, referee, out of the ring. Strickland took the chain from Nana and wrapped it around Omega's throat, hanging him over the top rope. Bryan Danielson was pleading on commentary that Strickland is better than this. Omega collapses on the floor. Strickland cleans the commentary table and Danielson continues to say Strickland proved his point. Strickland set up the ring steps and hit a vertebraker on the commentary table and crashing to the table, and it looks fantastic and it looks nasty as well. Taken out Omega, and it's a great character development for Swerve Strickland as well, and now we will see where he goes from here, and it's gonna be interesting to see what Hangman says about that as well. So that's the end of the show, folks. Please guys, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.